When you booked it, what was the feeling when you got it?
I was playing Bride of Frankenstein at Universal. I got a call on break, and I screamed in the hallway, and I came back into the makeup room with all the other characters. Mind you, these people are like dressed as like Princess Fiona, Marilyn Monroe, staring at me, and I'm going, I quit!
Pinup Palmer is an actress, singer, dancer, and creator who spent more than a decade bringing iconic characters to life at Universal Studios Hollywood. I think I saw in one of your videos that you pulled some inspiration for the character from Plan 9 from Outer Space.
No.
Well, love that. Okay, well, who cares about research, huh? Before creating her own pink and spooky universe and bringing her love of classic monsters and Halloween to television as Gwengoolie, alongside Svengoolie and the squad.
Put up all the pictures of my hair colors. There you go.
We're not going to put anything.
That's the first intro.
What do people not see? How did you get into performing? Talk to me about the process and the feeling of actually booking Svengoolie. Pinup Palmer.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me again.
We got the pink and spooky in the room.
I know. Aren't you sick of it already? I didn't wear anything pink, though, today. Nothing.
You went with the spooky thing.
I went with more modern day spooky girl, subtle.
Which is interesting. Modern day, it's so not pinup. She's all about the old monsters. Modern day.
True. However, I got the monster necklace right here.
Which is an awesome necklace.
Thank you. It's got all the classic monsters
Who's your
right up
favorite
in
one
here.
on there?
Creature, of course. He's somewhere over here. The green one.
The green one.
Or the Gill Man, or whatever you want to call him.
For people discovering you for the first time, how would you describe Pinup Palmer and the pink and spooky world she lives in?
Oh, God. Hell. No, but it's a combination of two of my personalities. I'm surprised I'm not a Gemini. I'm not. I'm a Scorpio. And
Scorpio.
I am a Scorpio. Very proud of it. And so, I don't know. It's just combining the two things that I've always loved. And when I mean pink, it doesn't mean literally the color pink. And a lot of people think that. They're like, well, you must wear everything pink every day. That's not the case. Pink is everything girly, feminine, vintage, under that kind of bracket. And then spooky is pretty much spooky as you speak for itself. But I just wanted to combine those two worlds together, and I didn't think it was possible at one point. Where it's like, what? A girl who likes monster movies wearing pink? Blasphemy. Goths don't do that. I don't consider myself a goth, but they would be offended. Luckily, over the years, people have kind of blended the two worlds together because I think there is a similarity when it comes to the vintage world and the horror world, where they were born out of the same time period. If you really think about it, a lot of the pinup girls come from the 1940s and 50s. And what do you have in horror movies?
Yeah.
Pinups.
But yeah.
Being chased by creature men, and it's a thing. And it really is literally the thing. And it's just one of those things that I feel like they just go hand in hand together and have found their way in harmony. And people now have started to catch it on with like clothing brands and stuff where they are selling pinup garbs with like monsters on it. So it's a weird world.
When did you first realize that I want to put these both together and make it into this world? How far back we talking?
Probably at the end, I want to say in the middle of my career when it comes to Universal Studios, because there I was playing Marilyn, which is probably the most vintage girl you can ever get a hold of. But where we're at is Universal Studios, where horror is made. They've said that countless times over, and and, the Universal monsters saved Universal. So I was constantly around these locations, and they had us Marilyns in the back one time for like this nighttime tram tour. And where we were located is a lot in the areas where you would find the same spaces of Frankenstein where he walked on Court of Miracles and stuff. So just being surrounded by those things and doing Halloween Horror Nights, it kind of pushed me to create this kind of, I wouldn't say character, but a hyper version of myself. So I blame Universal for everything.
Really?
Everything. Yeah, when you're playing Marilyn Monroe and you're just sitting next to Frankenstein at lunch, it'll do something to your mind. It really will.
And what were you doing prior to Universal? Before you got Universal, what did Sarah Palmer's world look like? Because
Not this.
No.
Not this at all. Boring, sad, trying to find myself. But I started Universal when I was 18.
Wow.
So right out of high school.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I was maybe at the end of high school that I think I first applied, because I was one of those like later students. I graduated when I was 18. I didn't get held back or anything, but I was one of the older ones. Still stupid, but one of the older ones. And I immediately went right into Universal. Like I kind of went to Citrus College for like a little bit. I think I took like a tap class there. Didn't do well at it. Quit it immediately. Didn't see the reason of going to a college to do acting when I could literally just do it at this theme park and make money out of it.
Yeah.
So I started very early. So my before self wasn't into vintage. I was pretty much just like an average person. Nothing to grab at. I had a lot of movie posters in my room because my dad is a graphic artist.
Nice.
And he works for the movie industry. So he would come home and be like, look at what we worked on today from Disney. And he'd bring out home this giant poster, like all those billboards you see. And like when you go to the movie theaters and you see all the posters, my dad is working on that.
Oh, wow.
So it could be anything from Universal to Disney to, I don't know, Miramax.
Yeah.
And he brought it home. So I always had a plethora of posters in my house. But the horror hadn't really kicked in yet. Yet. I liked Halloween, but it hadn't developed yet, just like my brain.
So we're gonna go pull it all back and go into how it all started. But before we do that, hence the name of the show, how they started. But what I do want to talk about is Svengoolie.
Oh god.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I had you on like 5-6 years ago, I remember you discussing something that you were going for, auditioning for. Was it for that project or was it a different project?
I'm not sure. I have
Okay,
to go
you
back.
probably had so many. No, it's all
Yeah.
right. But talk to me about the process and the feeling of actually booking Svengoolie, because this is like your world.
Yeah.
Like that's who you are and
I
the content.
manifested that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell me about that.
Well, for those who don't know, I've always wanted to be a horror host of some kind. I think that was started when I did a small like indie film called Vampire Dad. And I was playing a character that was written originally for Elvira. Of course, she turned it down. Then they gave it to like Kat Von D. She turned it down. Deed Von T. She turned it down. Somehow, some way, it got to me, the slums of the internet, and I got that character called Victoria, and she was like a vintage vampire. And I got to sit on a couch and kind of narrate the movie, and it just clicked in my head of going, "Oh, I want to do this. This is cool. This is really neat." And so. However, I didn't know how to become a horror host in a modern day age because, well, to be honest, horror hosts aren't really a thing anymore. We've talked about that before, where they kind of died off in the 90s. You really didn't see them. I think the last horror host that was kind of pretty popular that was created out of the 90s was the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt, and that was probably like the last time we saw something like that. There hasn't been any new develops. Not saying that there haven't been horror hosts since then, but to make it to that type of mainstream where they're kind of known or sought after, and people have cable now, so they don't need to stick to their own cities. So I didn't think it was possible to become a horror host anymore because who's looking for that? There's no auditions for it or anything. And so the best option that I could think of was, well, what's the modern day public access channel? It's YouTube. Put it on YouTube. And so I was like, okay, so I'll start doing something that people are asking, which is vintage hair tutorials. Not my favorite thing in the world to do. Don't really care, but if you want to see it, you could see it. But I need to do it in my own way. So I started developing this kind of world and familiarity that people can get comfortable with in their house, which was like, sure, I'm doing makeup tutorials or hair tutorials, but all of a sudden a monster hand is handing me a hairbrush. What is that?
Yeah.
Hold on, excuse me? You know what I'm saying? And this is the world of the Jeffree Star era where everybody's doing makeup. And nobody was doing puppets along with makeup tutorials at this point. So I wanted to because it's something that I liked, and it would kind of sneak in the horror host vibe with doing something that people want. And hopefully they like it and just accept me for what I was. And in doing so, it just got bigger and bigger, and the world started getting bigger and bigger. And I started doing Christmas specials that are Halloween-based with full-on puppets, stupid musical numbers, and whatever, in hopes that somebody might see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to go out there and knock on door to every producer going, hey, have you seen me? You interested in what I got? You want to see this puppet? I didn't bring my puppet today too, Brandon. I'm just letting you know.
I was hoping you brought the puppet.
What if I just sat here the entire time with a puppet and only answered the puppet, and the puppet would only talk for me? And
I would love to
discuss secrets.
Yeah.
But I didn't. We saved you from that today. I wanted to put myself out there and put my ridiculous stuff out in the world and see if somebody bought it, you know, or saw potential. And then all of a sudden, I was, I was a manager at Halloween Horror Nights for the Maze Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I wanted. So I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
Regret it later, but I got what I wanted. And I was signing those guys in. They're all 6-foot giants, you know, and they're tired and they're cranky. And they're like, when are we going to get potluck today, Sarah? And all of a sudden I got a text message from my friend Brad, who plays Dracula, of all things, in the park. So Dracula texted me. And he said, hey, have you seen this? And at this time, I had my own podcast with my friends called the Talkie Horror Podcast Show. And it's a horror show. And we just did a whole podcast on horror hosts, of like talking about horror hosts then and now, whatever. And in this text message that Brad sent me, it was searching for the next Svengoolie is what it was. And I was like, Svengoolie? I just mentioned him on the podcast, but I didn't know he was still in the frickin' air. Gosh, I need to do better research, I think. And so I was like, okay, what is this? And so it wasn't really necessarily searching for the next Svengoolie. They were calling Searching for the Spawn of Svengoolie. That was the original title. Then it was soon later changed because they didn't know that Spawn was copywritten by Spawn, like the comics Spawn.
Nice.
And they're like, you can't use that. You're like, sure. So that was in later date. But yes, I was like, okay, this is so exciting. They're offering to be on this TV show that's nationwide, and they're looking for somebody to, I don't know, not replace him necessarily, but to be a part of that show. Here's my opportunity. I didn't think any opportunity like this exists. So I'm like, I think I'm ready. However, I can't find the damn date, like the ending date of like when to turn in this video, this like 1-minute video that they're asking for of why you think you're the Spawn of Svengoolie and this and that. Mm-hmm. Couldn't find it anywhere, so I emailed everybody that I could. Any email I found on the websites, people, probably personal. And little did I know, I actually emailed Rich Koz, which is Svengoolie himself.
Nice.
Accidentally, not knowing it was. And I sent an email, and I could find it somewhere, but it said something along the lines of, hi, my name is Sarah Palmer, and I can't find the deadline anywhere. No pun intended. And... but if you guys can let me know, because I'm working late nights and I would love to send in a video. And Rich responded to me, and he just put the quote. He just responded and he just put, no idea, period. Thank you, Rich. Thank you. So anyway, I sent in a video and didn't hear back from about like 2 weeks. And all of a sudden a woman named Kim Swan reached out to me and wanted to have a Zoom call with me and go on to the next process of their whole crazy search for these people. And the first, interaction with her is to basically just kind of gauge if you're crazy or not. You're like, do we want to allow you around this man? You know, because I'm sure Rich, being a horror host as long as he has been for many, many years, probably doesn't want some crazy, insane fan on his show, which has been a closed set for a very long time. It's like getting the golden ticket to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he's opening up his gates? Aren't you excited?
Yeah.
I got the golden ticket. I'm Charlie Bucket. I'm so excited. So I would say like 6 different rounds later of doing writing for the show, writing for Sven, then performing on Zoom for them and picking a movie. And then all of a sudden we're flown to Chicago to do an in-person audition there. And you're put up against other people. I saw the other people that they were looking at. I didn't know if they were picking one Spawn or multiple. We didn't know. I think it was just a process that they weren't even sure if they were going to find somebody or if they were going to have to go and actively look for kind of already popular people and then bring them in, which they did both. They did bring in some people that they found online that had a pretty big following. I did it the old-fashioned way of like the American Idol search of like send in a video and cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about 7 rounds later, yeah, I got the call. that I'm part of the Sven squad, me and another guy named Scott Greider, who plays the character Imp on the show, and which is funny, we both were auditioning the same day, and they kept us both that day.
Oh, wow.
2. And they sent another girl home. There was 3 of us. I think there was like 3 groups every week of like 3 different people they were testing on camera. And Scott and I happened to be on the same day, back to back. Other girl was there. She's from Second City. They sent her home, and then they told me to stay after I already did my audition. I went, okay, that's a good sign, right?
Yeah.
I think so. And they kept Scott after his audition. They were like, okay, we're going to put you guys both on screen together. Let's just say you both snuck into Sven's dungeon and go. And Scott and I, not knowing each other, we don't know each other. And we're just looking at each other going, okay, let's just come up with something. And we came up with a bit. And I think in that moment is when they went, these 2, I think we're going to keep. If it wasn't for that moment, I don't know what would have happened. Yeah. I think it was our improv together and our chemistry together that they're like, I think this works. Because he caters to a very youthful audience, very peewee type audience, and I cater to a very old-fashioned audience. Yeah. Some male gaze, I guess, in some ways, which that show has never had, mind you. They weren't ready when I came on screen. Let's just say that. Yeah. And yeah, I got the show, so here we are.
So first of all, amazing story.
Thank you.
The whole.
That was a light version of it, believe it or not.
Well, let's do the deep version.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I look at you in your sleep over here in the corner, and then they called me the 7th time.
And then and part 1,
Yeah.
and then part 2.
And then here's what I wrote.
Exactly. So then you get it, you book it.
Yeah.
When you booked it, what was the feeling when you got it?
I was playing Bride of Frankenstein at Universal.
Nice.
Still stuck there going, I need to get out of this place. It's been 15 years. Mm-hmm. And I got a call on break. And I get up, I stand up and I go, hello. And it's Kim. And she goes, Sarah, we just had a talk and I just want to let you know that you are, I forget exactly how she said it. But let's just say she said, you are perfect. No, I'm just kidding. She said that you got it. You're in. You are our spawn. Come on over. Let's talk details and contracts and have Zoom meetings. And I screamed in the hallway, and I came back into the makeup room with all the other characters. Mind you, these people are like dressed as like Princess Fiona, Marilyn Monroe, staring at me, and I'm going, I quit. I knew in that moment, I was like, I have to start quitting some of these roles that I was playing because there's no way I'm going to be able to fly to Chicago, go film this show, and still keep my job here every month. There's no way.
Yeah.
No. So.
What was the inspiration of creating this character? So on the show, it's called Gwen. Your name's Gwengoolie.
Which I did not choose.
You didn't?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I had a different name.
What was it?
Tagula was the name that I came up with, which was kind of like a play on Tallulah Bankhead, who was like an old actress from like the 1930s, and she was a dame, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted a character like that. Yeah. So I gave them that name as like a test run, and they liked it, but people upstairs, you know, when the managers start to come in and people have different ideas of what they kind of want you to be, since I am the only girl on the show, so they have to be kind of delicate with it. They were playing with the 2 names that they both, I think, what do they call it? TM'd or like trademarked?
Oh yeah,
TM'd, something like that. And one of them was Gwengoolie. The other one was Svengoolie. Which, thank God. Svengoolie. Just call me Sven, everybody. Like, what is that? And when they told me that, I went, I hope it's Gwengoolie. Yeah, like I really do. And I love Gwen Stefani, so I was like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I also get to keep kind of like the Ghoulie name in tradition, which made me kind of feel like, okay, I got the name. Like nobody else did. I got the name. And I think Scott's name was actually chosen by Rich himself. So Scott's name is Imp, right? But Imp is short for Ignatius Malvolio Frankenstein. That is his full name.
Oh, wow.
Imagine putting that on a T-shirt, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine signing your name, that autograph, that whole thing. So thank God they have a short version of it, but Imp is the name. But Ignatius Malvolio Frankenstein.
It's a mouthful, you know?
Rich came up with that one, but I had executives come up with my name. And so they gave it to me, and they're like, it's that girl. And I went, okay. So,
for what a horror host is and what the show's about, for people who, because I was new to it too. When I first discovered it, I was like, oh shoot, didn't know this existed. Yeah. How would you describe what a horror host is and what Svengoolie and that whole universe is for the people who don't know?
A horror host is basically a person that, I would say it first started in vaudeville. It had to have. And these comedians and a lot of radio jockeys. Believe it or not, most horror hosts that I have looked up and researched were all radio jockeys. Yeah. About 85% of them were. So they were natural hosts that can engage and keep an audience for a very long time. And horror hosts are the most, I call them like the most American thing you could have ever created because they are only really based here in America. Happy 4th, everybody. And so it started in I want to say like the 1950s. Malian Army was the first one to be the first ever a horror host. And it started in 1951? And basically what horror hosts are made to do was show horror movies that came on because during this time in the 1950s, the classic monsters as we know it that came out in the 1930s and 1940s like Dracula, Frankenstein, all of that, kind of were dying off. They weren't really a thing anymore. People didn't care. They weren't scared of men in prosthetic or suits or anything like that. What was in the 1950s was the space race, right? So a lot of space alien invaders, things from Mars, and giant creatures coming in like Godzilla and all that stuff, Harryhausen. So that was the popular thing. So these old films were just kind of collecting dust over the years. And they didn't really know what to do with it until in the early 1950s, somebody created a whole package called the Shock Package. And in this package had all of classic Universal films, monsters specifically. And I think it held like 54 of them. I could be wrong. Oh, wow. Don't check me on that. But like all of them. And they were about to have them syndicated to go national for television. Because now television's a thing. You don't just have to go to the movies to see entertainment anymore. You can now sit at your home and the 3 channels that you were given, one of those might be now this Shock Package that would come on late at night. And so they were like, well, how do we promote this? What's the best way to do it? Why don't we get hosts that were doing it already in person? So like there was already like this subcategory that was happening in movie theaters where there was a host in person making fun of the movie on mic as these movies were playing. They were already making fun of it because that's how much these monsters weren't that scary anymore to these people. So they're like, okay, we could just take that on stage and put it now on camera and we'll see how it goes. Vampire was the first one to do it professionally, and it just took off. And it spread like a damn disease.
Really?
Yes. Every national city that wanted the Shock Package, because they were like, there's a huge increase in flux. All of a sudden at 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, the Shock Package would air, these horror movies would come on, and all of a sudden their demographic of teenager boys were just eating it up. It was going through the roof, and at this time in the 50s, the only thing that was popular to these boys at this time was like Mad Magazine or something like that. So all of a sudden they have like Mad Magazine, but like on camera. Oh God, this is huge. Every national city wanted a horror host. So if you were a disc jockey in that city, you were already on the radio, most likely you were asked to become a horror host and create your own image. And that could range from anything. Some horror hosts took it very seriously and very macabre and creepy. And others were very campy and funny and making fun of the stupid film and making fun of you for even watching it because you have bad taste,
Yeah.
That was a thing. And so it just kind of, it spread like wildfire. And every national city that had the Shock Package had a horror host to go with it because it just worked.
Yeah.
And then sooner or later, the time frame from 12 o'clock to like 11 o'clock got earlier and earlier because they can get more viewers because the earlier you are, less people are asleep and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So he's been doing it for over 50 years now, right?
I would say so.
Rich? So I gotta ask, what's it like working with him and kind of getting into the world of something he's been doing for so long and something you discovered that like, I want to do this and started doing it on your channel?
Right. Rich has been, I've talked about this. Rich is like the last original horror host standing, right? Like from the olden days. Sorry, Rich. But he is like, he was on WFLD and He's the last man standing on air national. Like there are some other subcategory horror hosts on like YouTube or like very niche in their own small town, but he is national. That's rare. And yeah, I think it's been 45 years, 46 years? I can't remember at this point. But he's been on the air for so long. And when you step into his space, that has been his space for that long, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It is so terrifying. Because one, you don't want to screw up. And I had the balls at my audition. I think it was a good thing, but I had the balls, the audacity, some would say. They said, okay, you're going to write a script, for you and Sven to act out. And I believe it was the movie The Night Stalker, Kolchak the Night Stalker was mine with Darren McGavin. And I was like, I'm going to write a song and we're going to sing together, buddy. What? Mind you, never seen this man in person once. I know he does songs and I know he loves to do parody songs and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe this is a way to impress them, to show them that I could do this too. Like we're here together and here I am writing a song for him and I to sing, and no rehearsal, mind you. All the things that you see that us do on camera, no rehearsal.
Wow.
It's just like, go, go. Have fun. Don't screw up. And Rich doesn't like to screw up because he's done it for so long. And it's really rare when you do see him screw up. And he gets tired because the more you screw up, the more you got to start over again.
Yeah.
And he'll get tired. And so you're like, oh crap, I gotta hunker down. But yeah, here him and I were singing together on the screen for the first time, meeting each other. And they ended up airing it, funny enough. But ballsy move. Yeah. So he's just intimidating. He is a very sweet man. Very kind man, very caring, but very protective of everything that he has created over the years. I mean, he is Svengoolie, or technically he is son of Svengoolie because he is not the first Svengoolie. There have been one other before him, Jerry G. Bishop, who was the original Svengoolie in Chicago. And then basically Rich was kind of me in a way of like, wow, this sounds really fun. I want to get in on this, and start sending letters to Jerry G. Bishop of like, here's a joke you can use on your show next week, to the point I think where Jerry got so annoyed with him. He goes, just come into the studio, kid.
Yeah.
And so he did, and he started being part of the writing process and stuff with Jerry, and then eventually little characters on the show. And then eventually Jerry was just like, I think I'm good. I'm going to go move to San Diego, and you take it on, kid. And then Sven became son of Svengoolie and had a Transylvanian accent at the time.
Oh, nice.
And had a different character compared to the original Svengoolie, who looked more of like a hippie. He looked like a ghoulish hippie. This Svengoolie was more like with a top hat and chain and everything. And I often make fun of Rich and his drop of accent over the years, because it used to be like a Transylvanian accent like this, and that's gone. That ain't the same. I was like, I think I even made fun of him in my first audition, where it was like, in your accent. He's like, I forget some things sometimes. I go, yeah, like your accent, like stuff like that.
How's he sound now?
Hey, like himself. Oh, hey, everybody, it's me, Svengoolie, or whatever. Like, it's just like a normal sounding man. And I think that came with when eventually he got old enough and he was already known so well in the Chicago area as Svengoolie that I think Jerry just was like, if you go back on the air after you get fired and you're back to Svengoolie, just call yourself Svengoolie. You could drop the son. And so he did. So now he's Svengoolie. And I think with that, the accent also left the building too.
Yeah.
And the mustache. Now he has a fake one. Yeah.
Okay, just put him on play. That's a fake mustache.
He draws it on like Groucho Marx, because he told me he used to have like a real mustache, like not like a real one, but like a fake real hair toupee on his lips, and under the hot lights all day it started slipping, and he just got so tired of it. So now he draws it on like Groucho Marx, which he loves the Marx Brothers and he loves the Three Stooges, as we know. You could see at the very beginning of the title credits. So yeah, he's an interesting man, and you let him do his own thing at his own pace. He's got a wicked sense of humor. Walking into that soundstage, him and Jim Roach. Jim Roach is like the main producer on that show and director. They're so great. They've been working with each other for years. They're like practically brothers. The amount of puns these men come at you, and mind you, it's like 6 a.m. in the morning. Jim comes knocking into the dressing room, and he's like, you decent? And making pun jokes, and you're like, shut up. It's 6 in the morning, you're making jokes. And like anything you say, he's got a joke combat it. Anything, any word, he's got a word that matches that joke. And it's just, they both do it. It's insanity.
Now, with your character, Gwengoolie, I think I saw in one of your videos that you pulled some inspiration for the character from Plan 9 from Outer Space.
No.
Well, love that. Okay, well, who cares about research, huh? No, not the girl in it.
No. Vampira? No.
I thought.
No. I mean, I love Plan 9.
Who did my research? I'm going to find that guy.
You, Ozzy, you're the beer thief.
Yeah. All right, well, there's somewhere where that sits.
I mean, it is one of my favorite movies that I would like to show as a horror host. He's so wrong. He doesn't do his own research.
Dang it, man. All right, but where did the inspiration come from creating this Gwengoolie
Here, let me tell you, since you're wrong. So there's a couple characters that derived from Gwengoolie.
Oh, man.
I knew I wanted her. I'm sorry. I broke you. This is it.
It's amazing.
You're done.
Good. It's good.
What good are you?
You know? This is an audition. You're taking over.
I could have just been nice and said, yeah.
No.
No, I want people to know
and
you messed up.
We're keeping it all in. We're not cutting it. Good.
Okay. So I always like dames, right? Dames. When I mean dames, I mean like B. Arthur, Phyllis Diller.
I know. I saw it when I did some research. I knew you liked that.
Yeah, sure. And and I've always liked women like that. So Tallulah Bankhead. So I needed some kind of character like that. And one of the movies, you might be getting confused with maybe this movie, is a movie called Mad Monster Party. And it came out in the 1960s. And it was by Rankin and Bass, which is the same people who did like Santa Claus is Coming to Town stop motion. In Rudolph, you remember those?
Yeah, stop motion, yeah.
Yeah, the stop motion,
Yeah.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Little Drummer Boy or whatever. So they made a Halloween version. Little did you know.
Yeah.
They did. And it came out in the 1960s and it had a stacked cast. I'm talking Phyllis Diller as the Bride of Frankenstein, Boris Karloff in it. Oh my God, I can't even think of the other ones right now. But it's got a good cast, especially for that time. But there was a character in it called Francesca. And if you do your research now, and you're going to put a picture of Francesca.
I know the video. I saw it. I'm going to pull it up.
And she's a redheaded, busty, very busty thing for a children's show. And I thought she was amazing. She was she was like Jessica Rabbit before Jessica Rabbit with like a fist in her arm. She could punch any man. And ever since I saw her as a kid, I was like, damn, that's who I want to be. Screw Cinderella. This is my girl.
Yeah.
And I loved Francesca. So Gwen's personality is kind of like a mix of Francesca, but also I love Phyllis Diller. So I put those two together. A lot of people online say I act like Mae West sometimes. I think in my diction. She wasn't originally in my process of creating whatever this character is, but I knew I wanted somebody that just kind of screamed old Hollywood, or at least around old Hollywood people, so she thinks highly of herself. But I wanted her to be a dame of some sort. And I will say this, Gwen's character is ever evolving. It's changing, kind of like Elvira's character or Pee-wee's. You could see the very beginning stages of these characters, and over the years you could really tell they honed in on like what is this character's personality, to the point where you know exactly what their next move is or what they're going to do. Kind of like the Golden Girls. You know every single one of who's going to say what. If, Rose has a stupid story about St. Olaf, you damn well know that B. Arthur is going to roll her eyes in this moment, because that is character development that has been through that process and has worked. So I will say Gwen is ever evolving and changing, but the base of her is definitely the dames of like the 1950s and 60s, and definitely Francesca. I would like to look like Francesca, but I didn't want to really look like myself, if that makes sense.
Playing a character.
I originally came in kind of looking like a Pinup Palmer version of myself, especially for the auditions, and then I slowly realized, I'm like, if I get this, who the hell is going to do my hair in Chicago?
Yeah.
Am I going to upkeep this? And how many days are we shooting in Chicago? I don't know yet. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we shoot 3 days in a row. Mm-hmm. My hair ain't going to stay like that or consistent. So I was like, I need to come up with a plan or a look quick before my last audition. So I just quickly got things off of Amazon, asked some people from Wig Ladies and this and that. And I had an idea, and I need to just completely rip whatever Pinup Palmer is and make an opposite character of her. And not knowing that they were going to air my audition piece. So now I'm stuck in that look. Not knowing, you know what I'm saying? And they slowly realize, like, a lot of this stuff doesn't have, like, longevity. Like, oh, those gloves were done, you know, in the first week or so. They were not meant to be worn every month, you know, like these are one and done things, which people online, when I first came out with those, like, green gloves, they're like, what the hell? Is she washing dishes or something? Yeah. Which is fine. But yeah, and I wanted the character to ever be evolving. So Elvira, and this is something I'm fighting with them on right now, and I'm trying to get it through their head. They're like, well, Elvira has got one character or one look, you know, and it's very recognizable. And I go, that's great for Elvira. That's wonderful. I don't want to do that. I want a character kind of more like a drag queen, where it's like you have your color palette, right? Green, black, white, purple. That's it. That's the only thing that stays consistent. Her hair could change to whatever the style is at the time, as long as it has that green streak in it and it's black. It could change whatever, and then her outfit can change as long as it stays in that color form. Yeah. So this is something I'm trying to get a hold of it. It's one thing to have like a hero costume, is what they call it, like the original, most recognizable look. But I was like, that never was my intention in the first place. Mm-hmm. And I want there to be like an ever-revolving door. Like, everybody knows RuPaul's got blonde hair, right? Yeah. But how many different outfits or different shapes of blonde hair she's got, you know? That's what I kind of wanted to with this character. So if I age with this character, let's say it lasts a while, I have options now where I don't always have to be subjected to a tight-fitting dress, or I can maybe gain weight, get pregnant, you know? How do you do that? How do you go about that? Yeah. How do you explain that? A corpse pregnant. Gross. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So ever-evolving character. And, like, I love it. I love everything that goes into it, the prep, the writing for it. Now, kind of taking it back a little, how did you get into performing? So, like, where did you grow up? What were you influenced by that kind of got you to go down this route?
Loneliness, depression, being an only child, I will say. Being an only child will create creativity and depression at the same time. But seriously, being an only child, you are often left home alone while both parents are working. That's just how the modern day age is. And during the 90s, like, you had your TV and you had your mirror that was in front of you, and then you put on your CD, and then you just put on different kind of music and you acted out on the CD in front of the mirror. So I honestly have to blame legitimately my parents not having any other children after me for my creativity. And I think I've always wanted to perform and wear a wig, because I would wear my grandma's wigs when she was not in the room. Yeah. I would go digging through her stuff and put on her wigs and her nightgowns and fluff around. So, yeah, there's that. But my parents put me more in sports growing up. I was more of a sport-oriented kid in a bunch of clubs, programs, and stuff like that. It took like high school, or not even that, like elementary school performances, if that makes sense. And other parents coming up to my parents going, hey, I think you should put her in stuff. You know, like after, this is elementary school. I mean, I'm playing a dove. But apparently that was enough for some parents, you know, who are like, wow, that dove number 2 is fantastic. You really should put her in show business. But that did happen, where to the point where my parents were like, well, a lot of people are coming up to us about this, so I guess we'll put her in theater, because my parents don't come from a theater background or anything like that. They come from more sports or just, I don't know, whatever background. So eventually they put me in theater, and I just fell in love with it from then on. And then, of course, you go into theater in high school, you become drama club president, you do all that stuff.
Did you notice that you were enjoying that performing more than you were playing sports?
100%.
Because you were also at one point a diver, right?
Yeah. My mom was my coach, which is always a good time.
Do it again.
Hi, Mom.
Again. Yeah.
Guess who's not going to get McDonald's after work? So it's, oh gosh. Yeah. It's hard when your parent is the person who is your coach for a specific sport. I liked volleyball too. And I was involved in both of that in high school and pre-high school. But it's hard to tell your parents that have maybe kind of an original idea of what they want you to do or where you want to go, or what they want you where you want to go or whatever. What?
Something like that.
You get me? No, but when parents have an idea of what they want you to do, they got it in their head. And sometimes life doesn't go that way, you know? And there may be something screaming at you over here going, man, I'm having a lot of fun doing this, though. Could we try this, Mom? You know, I don't feel like diving anymore. I don't feel like swimming anymore. I've never really liked it. I just kind of did it, you know, because it was a thing to do. And it's fun to be a part of to a certain degree. But if I had to choose, yeah, I would choose theater, and I did.
Yeah.
Because you can't do sports and theater at the same time in high school. Like, you couldn't be in a show and then volleyball at the same time, or different sports, because they were at the same. What do you do after school? Both? How? How are you going to go practice volleyball and then go practice your rehearsal or whatever?
There's a will, there's a way.
There is a way. And then if you do theater, though, outside, which I did out of high school. So when I was doing volleyball, I did theater outside of high school, which then my theater teacher got upset that I was doing theater outside of high school, and she punished me. Nobody's happy, basically.
What did they think when you wanted to take that route and go perform in theater instead?
I don't think they were that keen to it at first. They were a little bit hesitant because it's uncharted territory for them, too. They're not sure what it's going to do or work. And eventually, though, they definitely caved in, and they put me in background, like acting work for like children's background acting and stuff. And that's when I got a taste of like movie sets and like, oh, here are the actors from Drill Bit Taylor or Daybreak or whatever these TV shows, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody I was on, interacting with these kids and their bulldog. And so I really liked that, but that faded. I don't know why that faded. Maybe my mom thought I wasn't as into it as I was, but I definitely was. I just don't talk about it that much. But they eventually got me into it. They put me into singing. I was working with Linda Corwin, and I also had a few other friends that were part of the diving team who were heavily into theater. So the Klena family is what I want to kind of talk about, is like they were a group of family that were part of the country club, were part of the diving with my mom's team, and they were heavy into theater to the point where Derek, who I went to school with these kids too. I was sleeping over at their houses, having a good jolly time, learning thriller dance or whatever.
Nice.
And they were all theater kids, and Derek is on Broadway now. Derek Klena. He was like Moulin Rouge, Wicked.
Nice.
He is like one of the very few straight leading men in Broadway. But now he plays for the Bananas, that baseball team, Bananas.
Oh, you know what? I've been seeing them all over the place.
If you see one singing, that's Derek.
Not singing, but the pitcher, I think, is on stilts or something.
Joey, where were you?
That's what I'm saying.
Sure. Whatever gimmick they got going on over there on the Bananas baseball team. But these are the people who I grew up with and were singing with and performing with. And so I think if they were doing it, then my mom goes, okay, well, then I'll put her in the same programs if that's what they're doing. So they're a really successful family, fabulous family.
Yeah.
And I wish nothing for the best for them. But I have fond memories. But it's weird to see Derek just... Oh, you get best of both worlds, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to be on Broadway and professional baseball. Because he was an amazing baseball player, too.
Yeah.
Where I think he got a scholarship to UCLA. And was just like, I think I'll go be a Broadway star. Yeah. And he did.
Everything I touch is gold.
Yeah,
right?
Truly. Like, almost a perfect family, I would say.
So I want to talk a little bit about your inspirations. One that kind of blew me away, and I did a lot of research.
One. Plan 9 from outer space.
The vampire. No, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh.
So Pee Wee, Julie Brown from Earth Girls Are Easy, which I've never seen that movie, and I got to check it out. I know, she's about to give me a whole history lesson on it. But, yeah, how did those inspire you and help kind of mold you into kind of how you wanted to show yourself and perform growing up?
Something was in the water in the 80s. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Something was in the water. And I am drawn to people, I think, this is what I've learned about myself over the years, where I am drawn to people who create a whole world that is an escapism world. Maybe that's why we're trying to do it, as sad as that sounds, of like, the world is so bad, let's create a space that's just wonderful. But truly, I love people who created their own characters and almost blended reality, where it's like you don't know where Paul Rubens begins and Pee-wee begins, or Pee-wee ends. Like, it's like, are you always Pee-wee? Or like when you go home, who are you when that door is shut and nobody's watching you? I'm so fascinated by people like that. But often that creates some very, very iconic characters. And like I said, something was in the water, and also Coke was very prominent in the 80s, which created these amazing worlds that these people, and I just love this style of comedy. I love the campiness of it. That's one thing that I've always been very invested in. I was like, regardless of whatever I do, it's camp. It's got to be camp, no matter what. It has to be, or else I'm not interested at all. I love self-awareness, and I feel like these two characters were very self-aware, but also in the 80s, it was almost like a popular thing to create a character and stick with it for your entire career. They weren't the only ones. There's like Bobcat Gold, you know what I'm saying, who had like the crazy voice and did that. And there were like specific actors that were hired for very specific roles, basically to play themselves, because they themselves are a character.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore. You don't even see it on SNL. They stopped doing characters altogether. Like, it's just random skits now. But before on SNL, it was like, create a character that stems from Groundlings, which both of them come out of, or Second City or whatever. And which created some amazing movies that today on SNL, like Coneheads, Wayne's World, all those things that you see are stemming from Night of the Roxbury. All characters from
Love Night of the
created
Roxbury.
characters. And Pee-wee is a result of that, of actually a denied result of that, because he auditioned for SNL and made it all the way to like the, like you're in person, you're doing the camera test and stuff like that. And they just never called him. And they gave it to Gilbert Gottfried, who's been on Svengoolie. He's a fan of, may he rest in peace, but he's been on Svengoolie and has always been a fan of Svengoolie. And it like broke Pee-wee on the plane ride home. Like he thought he was done with acting, done with the world, whatever. And then just picked back up the one character he kept doing at Groundlings and then made a tiny show out of it and started doing stand-up of it, and it just took off. And I think stories like that, from nothing to something, are what fascinate me, and I love people who have a very creative and a good aesthetic mind on creating their world. I'm interested in that. Anybody can act, you know what I'm saying? But like, can you create a character in an environment that I want to be in? That's what I'm interested in. And those two did it. Don't you just want to be in Pee-wee's Playhouse? Don't you want to be in that house with all the weird, cool stuff to look at? And Julie Brown, too, was the same exact thing on her Just Say Julie, her show on the MTV. She was the MTV girl. She was the Valley girl. And I actually have I have a theory. I have a theory about Julie Brown. She was so popular in the 1980s. Like, she was the Valley girl. She talked like, oh my God, like dumb and stuff, which was very popular at the time. And that was a created character of her. And she had Elvira on her show. And Elvira was in full geesh, and they were talking and doing whatever. It's one of those cases where I don't know which came first. I'm going to make a claim here, and I'm totally willing to be wrong. But I don't know if it's like if the egg or the chicken came first, where it's like, did Julie Brown create this character first, and then Elvira started to adapt a Valley Girl type character and kind of took that, oh my God, like whatever version and put it into Elvira and have that juxtaposition, of like something goth but Valley Girl, because it was California at the time. Or did Elvira just come up with it herself? I think she talked about, like, she had a Valley Girl character in Groundlings, and then she just used it there. But it's like, there's some similarities where I go, damn, they kind of look like the same person.
Yeah.
But who took from who? I don't know. Or was it just a thing to do in the 1980s? Because it was a popular thing to do. I don't know, but I have theories. Because Elvira's character, like I said, mine, ever-changing character, that was one of the things. Because I think when she first started out, she was way more serious and slinky and sexy, and kind of like Vampira, who took things seriously but with puns in the background. And then Elvira started changing and becoming more like, oh my God, like, ugh, whatever, and started developing that Valley Girl accent instead of taking things seriously. She became camp herself. So I don't know. I don't know if she took inspiration from Julie Brown or whatnot, but I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows at this day and age? Yeah. But I love people that create their own world, and I want to be that. Like I said before on my channel, if there's anybody I could be, it would be like Julie Brown in the 80s. Oh my God.
Now, do you have a favorite time period? I feel like you play around with like 50, 60, 70. You do all the...
Yeah. There's two.
Okay.
I like anything from the 1950s and I like anything from the 1980s. So I think that legitimately plays in my pink and spooky universe, where that's the two sides of my personality, where the 50s is the pink side, the spooky is the 1980s side. And sometimes they kind of cross. But
when did you start getting into old Hollywood, old monsters? Was it when you started working at Universal?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always liked Halloween.
Sure,
but
yeah.
if you weren't goth, okay, you're doing decoration like anybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry at Halloween. If you didn't, if you weren't decorating for Halloween as a kid, then you were what? A Mormon? I don't know. Everybody was. So it doesn't make you unique.
Yeah.
It just makes you American, typical of this is what we celebrate. To English people, it's weird, but to us, it's what we liked.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say the fascination with that stuff was then. I would say it came much later. Especially Universal is the catalyst for everything.
So let's talk about it. So you got Universal. What was your first role at Universal?
Oh, God. Halloween Horror Nights, 2010 or 11, and I played Baby Firefly in House of a Thousand Corpses in the maze.
Okay. Yeah. So that was your first role.
Yeah.
And then when did you start becoming a regular, actually working the day ops? Because you've done Fiona, you've done Marilyn Monroe, you've done Martha May for Grinchmas. You've done a lot of roles.
Betty Lou.
Mary Lou.
Betty Lou.
Betty Lou.
Mary Lou.
Mary Lou. And who was the other one? Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Yeah. So when did those start kind of play? So you did the Halloween Horror Nights.
Halloween Horror Nights, yeah.
And then when did you get Marilyn?
Marilyn came at... I did Horror Nights, and then I was like, I really like this. How do I work here full time? Because that's only like a 2-month gig. And then they were like, well, Waterworld auditions are coming. And I went, well, I could dive. I've never done stunts. I'm like 18 or 19 at this point. I'm like, fuck it. Let's try. And so I go and audition for Waterworld. I get it. I play Helen. And I think I'm the youngest person to go in there.
You can take a sip. You're about to tell a story and you're going to hold that thing forever.
Hot cup of water. And so...
Is it hot?
No.
Okay.
No, it's funny that it's in a coffee mug. It just throws me off.
You know?
Not
going to have a water bottle there.
You could. Okay.
We're going to rip off the label.
Plan 9 from outer space. So... and so I got Helen, and then after Helen, I got Marilyn Monroe. So that's the order. So Halloween Horror Nights, Helen, and then Marilyn, and then it was like back to Halloween Horror Nights or Grinchmas, then Halloween Horror Nights. So it's like one thing after another. I just anything I could do or audition for, I tried at that age, and I had a lot of gumption. So I think it got me pretty far, and I started working there, and it's been 15 years, and I finally quit at the end of last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who, out of all those characters you played, that was one I forgot, Lucille Ball. Out of all those characters you played, which one was the most challenging to kind of bring to life?
Well, Lucy, I never got to officially play her.
What are you talking about? I've seen pictures of you running around.
Yes, I was in the park as her, but that was a test.
Oh, that wasn't even...
Yeah, that was me testing for the character. There are videos of me, though. You can't. I'm sure some Chinese tourist has plenty of photos with me. But if I were to say the hardest character to play, everyone has their easiest character is Princess Fiona, but that's the most annoying character because you're the least favorite character of the franchise, but you're the only one who could talk.
Oh, nice.
So... You think people want to talk to you? Or Shrek just not moving? And they do.
Or Shrek. I've seen pictures where Shrek's looking the wrong way.
Yeah. He's probably sleeping. You'd be surprised. You would be shocked about what I had to deal with on set. But the hardest character is probably Marilyn because she, out of all of them, is a real human being. So you're not just embodying a character of what people think they know about Marilyn, but you're embodying a real person. So it has to be taken care of delicately, but also a heightened version of her because you are in a theme park. So it's like blending these two worlds, and you don't know what guests are going to do or what they're going to throw at you. So you're just kind of subjected to whatever questions they ask you, and God hope it's not something inappropriate. And let me tell you, it always is. It always is inappropriate.
I remember you mentioning to me definitely when guys approach you, it's kind of they forget that you're an actual person. They think you're this
You're not
seductive
human anymore.
lady and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that. I also remember one of my favorite stories you told that a kid thought you were the lady from
King Kong.
King Kong.
Yeah, King Kong girl. King Kong girl. Bless his heart. Bless him.
You got to repeat it again. You got to share that story.
So, okay. So picture it. Okay, this is so Golden Girls of me. Picture it. It's the summer at Universal Studios, and we're doing a thing called Street Party. And means that this is a little show with all vintage cars that have to do with each character. So you got the monsters over here, you got Scooby-Doo in their van, you got Marilyn Monroe in the pink Pontiac, and you got Lucy on a bike and Doc Brown on a scooter. Not in a DeLorean because we didn't have the budget for it. Anyway, so here's this show, and we're doing it, and now it becomes the meet and greet section. And I forget this kid's name, but he used to come all the time with his family. And I'm sure you could find it in the old video of like what his name was, but let's just say his name was Dalton. Okay, let's just go with that. Dalton and his family come all the time to Universal Studios, and we love seeing them. And Dalton is on the spectrum of some sort of... He's got something going on. Not quite sure what it is, but he's lovely. And so he comes over, and he's harmless, and I'm playing Marilyn Monroe, and he's loving up on me, and he wants to take pictures and giving me kisses and doing all this stuff. And in my head, I'm going, oh my God, I'm so amazing because this kid believes anything I say. I'm Marilyn. I'm giving this kid like the celebrity treatment he's always wanted. Like Marilyn Monroe is only picking me out of the audience. She's giving me the full attention. This is such an amazing thing. I'm like, wow, I'm really doing something today. I had this kid. And it was just such a lovely interaction with the family and him, and good seeing them. And all of a sudden it comes down to them leaving, and they're wheeling him away in the wheelchair. He can stand sometimes, and sometimes he's in a wheelchair, so it depends on his choice. And they're wheeling him away in that wheelchair. And I'm like, bye, Dalton. See you later, honey. Whatever. And he turns around and looks right at me, and he goes, bye-bye, King Kong girl. And just imagine me just like this. And just like crack, shattered, eyeglasses, everything, tooth fall out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it was one of those moments where I was like, just a humbling experience for me, where it didn't matter who the hell I was or how good I was doing or thought I was doing. Yeah. He thought I was the King Kong girl from... Which I will give him some credit. Blonde hair, white dress, Universal Studios, well, RKO, close enough, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad. Better than most guests. But wow, he humbled me in that moment.
It was
and
so good.
I'm now forever King Kong girl.
Bye-bye,
King Kong girl.
So let's talk about this world you've created, the pink and spooky world. I know we got to get into it because people will hate me if we don't. Let's talk makeup and hair. Let's talk makeup and hair, right?
Just what you wanted to talk about today.
I know I've seen videos of you say, like, I get comments all the time saying, shut up and just talk about your hair, right? Because people only want you to do stuff.
You will get them on this video too. you will.
Yeah. When's the hair?
Nice conversation, but what lipstick color is she wearing? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So let's talk about it. Inspiration for your makeup. How did the look of Pinup Palmer come about?
I wouldn't say there is a distinctive look for makeup when it comes to me. It's just whatever fits for my face. Working at a theme park, you get kind of used to theme park makeup or turning yourself into different characters. But there is a certain stylized look when it comes to the pinup girls or modern day pinup girl look. And that has been kind of developing over the years with just trends or whatever. Our modern day pinups look different than they do in the 90s pinups. Like there's slight changes because makeup has changed. People have found different ways to contour your nose. What? Like these are new things that developed that people take like modern day makeup and put it on a vintage way, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't say there's a distinct look. but there's a lot of tomfoolery and fakeness for sure. This ain't my eyelashes. This ain't my lip size. This is not my natural poreless skin. It's all fake and glamour, but that's what you get when you get a pinup girl.
Now, explain it, though, a little bit. So I remember when I last had you on, you mentioned a lot of the techniques you get from
Drag queens.
drag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was originally taught how to change my face through Jerry, I forget his name. I want to say Jerry James Jerry. It's been so long now since I last talked to you. See, I'm worldwide now.
You really
I've
are.
had more knowledge in me of other things. So I'm trying to remember my past, but there was a huge Marilyn Monroe impersonator at this time, Jerry James or something like that, and he was known as the Marilyn impersonator. And one time I was playing Marilyn fairly early in my Marilyn career at Universal, and he so happened to be there, and I so happened to pull him up for the show that I was doing. And he so happened to also know the makeup and wig ladies. So he was backstage, and all of a sudden I get a call from the ladies, and they go, Jerry would like to see you. And I'm like, oh, God, he's here? He's back here? And I walk into the makeup room, and he just goes, sit. Sits me down, and he looks at me, he goes, you do your eyes like Sophia Loren. Marilyn's eyes are innocent. You have to keep it innocent. And he just starts taking on all the makeup out of the makeup room and starts painting my face and slowly but surely changing me into giving me his tricks of what he does to turn himself into Marilyn, and a very good Marilyn, if that. And I just started from that on going, oh, it's more than just putting on eyelashes and red lipstick. It's like, well, what shape are you putting on? What kind of red lipstick are you putting on? What nose contour are you doing to change your nose so that people see you more in that light of Marilyn? What tricks can you do? Because everybody has a face, but not everybody looks identical to Marilyn. Most people don't. But you can change yourself to look pretty darn close with makeup. So I learned it that day with him, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, what lip color were you wearing?
Freaking no. Put it down in the comments.
It's for the
what lip color you
fans,
think
it's
I
for
wear.
the fans.
It's something from NYX. NYX.
All right.
You know.
Perfect. I love it. Now, hair. Let's discuss
God.
hair.
Okay.
Is this all natural?
No.
No? Okay.
Thank you for thinking so. I mean, yes. No, there are extensions in this part of my hair. I went blonde recently, and everybody knows when you go blonde, it usually fries your hair. So I had to cut my hair very, very short, which is the shortest I've ever been. And now it's in that process of growing out, changing out the hair color, and just letting it grow. But it's in a very awkward length for me right now. So I wear these extensions in when I'm doing my normal day-to-day hair stuff. Yeah.
When it comes to, and I know I've asked you this before, but I'm going to ask it again. When it comes to hairstyles, what's the easiest hairstyle for you to put together, and what's the one that kind of takes the longest?
It takes the longest is vintage. Obviously, sometimes that's a 2-day process.
Really?
People don't even realize it. So like trying to schedule something around a pinup shoot is annoying. And luckily, I do have a friend that is one of the best pinup hairstylists out there, and it is a trade that not a lot of people know. It's almost like a secret society of like, if only certain people know how to do this style of hair, and they keep it locked because, well, if everybody figured out how to do it, then nobody would need their services as much anymore, right? Even though it is a very hard hairstyle to get right every time, but these people are so good at it, and her name is Liz. And but yeah, that's the hardest one to do, are like vintage waves, a page boy, a poodle. There is a hairstyle called a poodle, by the way. But yeah, like the modern day hairstyle like this is nothing, just a simple curl, or you just throw it up in a slick back bun.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, but I have too fat of a face for that. So then it's just like face.
All face.
Yeah, all face. It could be jarring.
Now, as far as hair inspirations, definitely Rita Hayworth is one of them. Other than that, who else like inspires you when it comes to maybe even trying up new styles or following a certain...
Diana Dors is another 1950s pinup, another blonde one. She's from England. She had the best best page boy hairstyle you've ever seen in your life. It's the one that everybody strives for, and that type of white blonde that I'm talking about is amazing. But anybody from the 1960s, because in the 1960s, the women usually wore fake hair. It was very common. Like, you would literally buy a loaf of hair and just put it on top of your head and call it a day, and people were done. So anything from the 60s is very eccentric and big, and teasing was a thing. And that's when you get the movies like Hairspray, John Waters' Hairspray, which is like ridiculous, giant camp hair. And so anything kind of campy, anything big, but I like a little bit of everything as long as it looks good on you. And trying to find the right hair color for you is a process, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I've been every hair color in the book. You can put up all the pictures of my hair colors. There you go.
We're not going to put anything.
That's the first intro. You hear me? And so I've done every color of the rainbow. And you find out which one's your best one. You truly do. I was this color red not too long ago.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Mistake. But I tried it.
Well, I heard a story where you dyed your hair red for Waterworld, or you dyed it and you were still playing in Waterworld and they told you to dye it black or something like that.
Yeah. I accidentally showed up with vibrant red hair. And people in the audience were like, it's a mermaid, it's Ariel, and this. And they all of a sudden they called me, and mind you, I only had one show with hair like that. And I originally hired in blonde. And so I dyed my hair vibrant red, and they pulled me into the office that day, and they're like, yeah, you need to go home and dye that hair. We already have another Helen coming in to replace you for today. And I was like, are you serious? They're like, yeah, it needs to be natural. And so then I go home, and you can't go blonde from going red. Mm-hmm. So the only thing to do is to go darker. And I went black, the worst hair color for me. But that was acceptable because it was more natural.
Yeah. No, wasn't a fan, huh?
No, probably my worst hair color on
Which
me.
is so interesting because isn't your hair black in Svengoolie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm dead. I'm not myself.
Oh, yeah,
it's okay. I could be a little uglier over there for sure.
Well.
Yeah. People like to tell me all the time, you should be more like Pinup Palmer, or like Gwengoolie, or whatever. People compare me to me all the time. And it's,
I could see that.
Yeah, they're rude. The fans are rude.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So being, like everything you do, being a creator and putting out your videos, first, I got to ask, all the thumbnails, all the editing, do you do all that?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, watching your videos, it was like inspiring me. I'm like, I got to, not even on full length, but just on short form, I'm like, I got to put a little more sound effects, a little bit of pizzazz to it. I'm like, all the movie references you pull, like it's a lot. You do a great job.
I used to do a lot more, and then the website doesn't work anymore, so I have to go based off of memory now. But yeah, mine is like an ADHD nightmare sometimes, especially in the editing room. And sometimes I got carried away with myself where it's like every word I say, it's like, and video, and video, and video. And I'm like, ease up, Sarah. But that's just, it shows you like literally what my mind is doing. Like, I'm literally showing you what is inside my head 24/7 that you're not seeing. Right now, there's so much going on.
Wow.
Do you see?
I see it all. It's all floating around you.
Yeah.
The movie references, though, my goodness. Everything you reference, like, first of all, a lot of these movies I've never seen. But so as I'm watching, I'm like getting educated. I was like, oh, okay, add that one to the list, you know?
Good. I mean, I haven't seen every movie on the planet, but I think I can retain certain movies. Call it autism. I see it as I see it, you know, but we like quoting things. Boy, do we. We only communicate in quotes sometimes, you know.
Well, I'm all like Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller. That's all me. But you've got the old school, like all the references. Sometimes
if I just remember, or there's even this that I do too that a lot of people don't think I do, where it's like I just type in something that I know I want to say, like as a response to me, like, you're an idiot, you know. Mm-hmm. And so that I just type in, you're an idiot, somewhere, and I will type it in like the Giphy.com thing, and it'll give me movies that literally say you're an idiot, but it's only the GIF, so it's not sound. But then I go, that's right, there is that moment in that movie, so now I'm going to go on YouTube, go type in that movie, find that scene, strip that damn sound card from it, and put it in the thing.
So smart.
The one that I use the most is probably from American Psycho, though, which is him going, oh, good for you, and how was it? You know, anytime talk highly of myself, I will put that in there to humble myself, to let my audience know I'm not being that serious.
Yeah.
Or am I?
Yeah. You know what I look forward to? So a couple of different videos I've seen, you go pink and spooky, and you do a different transition each time. I think one of my favorite one was like a or whatever.
A gun shooting lasers or whatever. That has developed over the years of me just getting bored with myself. But I have realized that people like familiarity, and they like the same things, whether it be in the beginning and end. Even though my friend Spike, who does YouTube videos, he goes, you have to have a hook at the beginning. And I'm like, hook, schmuck.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I do every time. And people even come up to me now and they go, oh, the pink and spooky girl, you know, pink and spooky. And they start doing it. And that's when you know, I think it's working.
Yeah.
As stupid as it is and as simple as a little gesture can be, people do it. And they'll start copying, and I go, okay, it's working then. It's like brainwashing them into something familiar that they're used to.
Now, you already love like the history of a bunch of things. What made you like kind of pushed you to be like, I'm going to start doing movie locations, history talk? Is this everything you already know, or you do a bunch of research and then kind of plan out the video?
A bit of both.
Okay.
I've always liked movie locations right off the bat. Once again, I have to blame Universal for that one, because we're on the backlots. We're running around the backlots.
I feel like I'm on the tram, by the way, watching your movie locations. I'm
Yes.
like, am I on the tram? Like,
Yeah, I should have been a tram tour guide. I honestly should have been, because I'm a great tour guide for my friends that come here, and I will put music on for them and stuff when we go to certain locations. I will match the music to the location that we're going to in the car. They know. They know what I do. Because I like to have a good time, and so when you're playing in the backlot, and your backlot playtime is the Bates Motel, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me. I'm Frankenstein on the cobblestones, you know, like that's so cool. I'm Wolfman over here. I'm Lon Chaney Jr. Here's what the creature was. So I took that and I was like, oh, there are people that actually go find movie locations. I always liked finding spots where Marilyn sat, especially when I was more interested in Marilyn at the time, where like, oh, here's our house in Burbank. Here she is, standing right in front of it. This house still exists. So I started adapting that into my videos, and somebody said, oh, you should make another video channel separate from your makeup tutorials. When I went, no, if they're going to like me, they're going to like me. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I have to offer. I have different sections, but maybe the algorithm will hate it, because all of a sudden you're going from pinup hair tutorial to like Halloween movie locations, you know, which could jar your audience completely. But that's what I mean by I'm trying to blend the two worlds together, where it's like we're all in this together, whether you like or even have hair to even do hair tutorials, at least there's something in it that is engaging, and that thing might be me. It could just be me of just hearing my voice in the background, so it's this familiarity, comfortable thing in the background, or the monster hands come in because they like to see the monster hands. They don't care. I have men that are in their 60s that have no hair, and they're like, I don't know why I'm watching this hair tutorial, but you make me laugh.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by like, do I want to do hair tutorials? No. But is that what people want of me? Yes. Am I going to do it in my own way? Yes. So.
do you have a favorite style of video you like filming and shooting?
No, not yet.
No?
I could tell you I don't particularly like doing hair tutorials or makeup tutorials. They're the most boring for me. Anything where I can tap into more of that Pee-wee's Playhouse realm, I give the opportunity to, especially my movie locations. If you notice, if you watch them, they all have a theme. So like if we're doing Clueless, I tell my friends, you're going to dress up like you're in the movie Clueless, and we're going to eat the things that they do. I'm going to drive in the white Jeep, just like Claire or Blair, or whatever. I can't even think of their names right now. But I'm going to have their cars that they're driving in the thing, and that's what we ride around in that day. The music in the background is associated with this movie. Everything that you see is from this movie. The title cards are this movie. All the font I use are from these movies. So it's like, it's more than just doing movie locations, because people have already done that. I'm not the first one to do movie locations. I'm not going to claim that. It's already been done over the years. Nothing new there. But what I can do new is to create an aesthetic around it so you can immerse yourself in the world and also learn about the movie, if that makes sense. So those are some of the funnest things, because it allows me to play with openings or characters. I just did Killer Clowns from Outer Space and had Joey fully dress up in a clown outfit.
I saw that.
But it allows me to do those stupid things, which are so dumb, But it gives me that opportunity where a clown hand now is handing me a drink instead of Ted, which is like the monster teddy bear in my closet character. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
I like those.
Now, what people see on screen, whether it's on Instagram, on YouTube, they see all the glamour. They see, like, she must be so lucky. She's got an amazing life, right?
Thank you, Dr. Evil.
What do people not see? All the hard work, all the stuff that goes behind it.
The crying, yeah.
The crying, yeah.
Yeah. They don't see a lot. Like you know, social media is only like 20% of really what is going on behind the scenes. And a lot of the times I feel like I just miss out on everything because of my new job, and stuff can be very overwhelming. There's so much writing that goes into that job, and then legal department and all this stuff that gets in their hands. And then you got to rewrite something all of a sudden when you thought you had a week off. Now you don't. It's hard, and I look like a goblin majority of the time. What Joey sees is disturbing. Is absolutely horrifying. He comes home from work, okay? Hard day at Waterworld, which you can watch that episode right here. You're not going to put it there, are you? And just imagine, hard day at work, and all you want to do is come home to your girl, and there I am on the couch, been on the couch since 9 a.m., haven't moved, mind you. It's almost like the movie Obsession, just waiting for him to come home, and she's like defecated herself. Yeah. It's like that, but I don't poop myself, but I'm just saying I haven't moved much.
Yeah.
My heart probably hates it. And there's Chipotle on my shirt from ordering it from Grubhub, and I'm sitting on the couch with my editing my laptop, and I'm editing my video that I've been editing for 3 days straight, and I probably will edit it from 9 a.m. to about 10 p.m. to try and get it up on a deadline for people to leave a comment going, what lipstick am I wearing? You do this whole thing like my Christmas specials, you know. Yeah. Which I fund myself and pretty much do everything myself other than hold that camera. And my camera guy, Josh Solomon, is amazing, and he'll do anything at ungodly hours till like 4 a.m. in the morning, and do it all again the next day for free, everybody. Yeah. Are we having fun? This is great. And so it's I don't know. It's a rough life, and people don't see all the hard work that goes into it, and just how humbling it is to finally put it out there in the world, and you want people to see the talented friends and everybody you have, and to have a comment that just chalks it down to your makeup. Mm-hmm. It's disheartening, and will send you into a full crash that people won't see, or sometimes they will see it online. Sometimes I let it loose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
A couple times.
I hate everybody. Yeah. And like, I put on like the stupid. So I recently had a crash out on my Instagram, and I usually put it on my stories. Some days I can hide it pretty well, and other days I can't. That day I was feeling really lonely because my job is lonely and isolating, since I don't work at Universal anymore, and I do work in Chicago. I'm not in Chicago, so I got nobody to talk to. And here I am putting a goofy fucking, meme-looking face-altering thing that makes me look like the Quiznos sub-character, crying for all my fans to see. Yes. And I look at myself later and go, you're such a moron. Yeah. but yeah, those moments, though, I do get messages from people. They go, thanks for being at least vulnerable. Because we don't get to see that with social media, because everybody thinks everything's perfect and we're all doing great and the aesthetic is just so amazing. You must live such an amazing life. No, it's hard. It's hardworking. It takes so much in the background just to get something going and consistently going. You know that out of everything. Consistency is probably the biggest killer in everything.
That's the bread and butter of anything, yeah.
Yeah.
They see that video, and the one you posted, and they're like, sorry about that, but the lip color. Yeah,
they will still. I'm sure in my crash out, somebody has been like, I know you're crying right now, however, your hair looks amazing. Yeah. You're just like, thank you, at the Chipotle stains, and like, whatever.
Well, I was going to ask that too, because in regards to burnout, it happens to everybody. I was going to ask, how do you push through that? How do you handle it? But yeah, it's different for everybody, but I know I've seen posts of you saying as well, I'm just so tired, because you're running around all over the place. You're doing photo shoots, you're doing content, you've got a job in Chicago, you got to fly there. So how do you balance it all?
I don't well. A lot of people think I am also just like an online presence. But people don't realize that that's my side hustle that I just kind of do for fun. And I've only recently went like, people coming to me like management or whatever, they're like, yeah, you should probably do merch or something. I went, oh yeah, I forget you can make money on yourself. Because everything I do is like free.
Yeah.
And I even do photo shoots a lot for free. And people have been yelling at me for years. So unfortunately, though, what comes with that is people kind of abusing that power that they have over you, which could be really exhausting, or people mistaking that you only do that and are just waiting for something to happen, but not knowing that I'm like, the reason why I'm not online right now, guys, is because I'm writing for this show. And dealing with burnout is so hard. I do get bursts of energy randomly, and you could see that also on my online. I'll start zinging out ideas going, hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about that? And I think it's like my manic episodes where I have like these amazing ideas and then regret it later. It's like, you know, when you set something up to go hang out with a friend next month and you're like, let's do it, party, and it gets to that point and all of a sudden you can't wait for them to cancel it and you're like, oh my God, I could just stay at home. It's kind of like that. But I get inspiration from Pinterest or just looking online. Like I'll see a picture and it'll just like a vintage photo or an art drawing of something from like the 1950s horror. And I go, oh, that's so cool. Oh, I should do something on that. And then I start researching and then I push it forward. So it comes in bursts, if that makes sense.
You've definitely come a long way from when I last had you on because, well, first to clarify, you were already a big thing then, but I'm saying on YouTube specifically, because when I looked back, I was like, oh, I think you only had like maybe 3 videos up at the time. And now you've got a good catalog.
I think I'm still under 40.
Something like that. But
I'm so inconsistent.
you're doing it.
I'm bad. I'm really bad, and my audience yells at me all the time. And I wish I was consistent when I was at my peak, because those numbers were fabulous.
What are you talking about?
You know.
Look at you. Look at you, a shining star.
I'm telling you, though, when you used to hit like 200K every video, it's like butter. Now you're like, please get past a 10K. And I'm like begging for it. And as long as it gets past 10K, I'm like, we're doing something.
Job
you know what I'm saying?
well
We're
done.
doing something, you know? And it's a slow burn. And I even tried it with the podcast too. Dude, it's exhausting. I'm exhausted, especially when you are more often than not the creative force behind it. If you don't do it, nobody does it, kind of in my group. I hate to say that, like, because I have a lot of friends who are actors that are waiting for that role by their agents to get that call, and then they go and audition for that and hopefully get it or not. I've always have been the opposite. We're going, I don't want to do that. God, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Here's this audition. Go and film it in your house. It's 3 pages long, and it's for a character that you don't care about. No one knows. And then let's say you do get it, and they cut your character out, which I've seen time and time again.
Yep.
And then what? Congrats. You did nothing. And I hate it. I hate that world. Like I do. And I hate the way it has been set up. And it's like this false hope that is being given with a lot of actors these days. And I've seen my friends so frustrated, and they're so talented. So that's why I've been like, you know what, everybody just bet on yourself. And that's the one good thing with YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, because it does allow some creativity and some control over people's personalities or talents or whatever, and it showcases it. Like I said, YouTube is the modern day public access channel.
Absolutely.
It is. And there are some amazing people that come out of it. Obsession, those directors used to post videos on YouTube. They're shorts. How would we know who the heck they are? Unless they started that way. So
your thumbnails as well. Are you pretty proficient with Photoshop and all that?
no. I make that on PixArt on my phone.
Dude, they're so good.
Really?
So I'm like, how is she creating this? She's got like a little transparency in the background with this funneling in here. And
I've gotten better. I have gotten better, but boy,
you're killing the whole illusion for me. You said PixArt?
PixArt, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just an editing
see it
app.
right here?
Right here. PixArt, $6.99 a month or whatever. It's just, one of those things that you
and then
can crop out
all
your
your content, I think on one of the videos I heard, you were like, here, hold my phone. Are you filming everything just on your phone?
No. as I tuck my phone away.
It's not,
yes.
It looks good though.
I do have one of those like zooms. The like
I
the
love a
stick
zoom
with the
zoom.
zoom.
What's that?
It's a camera, like a little like stick. You know what that one is?
Zoom zoom.
Okay, it's like a zoom or something like that. It's expensive and it shoots really high quality. Don't know how to use it. I'm like, duh, duh. And so I just leave it there and I just film on my phone. And my friend gets so mad at me because I do have a really great camera that I just let dust collect. Phone is just easy for me.
And then what do you edit on?
Final Cut Pro.
Oh, okay. All right.
Pain in the butt.
I thought I was going to get an iMovie or another on my phone.
No. I do have friends that do edit on their phone. I think on some other apps, but no, I do Final Cut on a laptop. Yeah.
Let's talk Monsterpalooza.
Oh god.
Right, that just passed, and actually, Midsummer Scream's coming up too. I've never been to that event, so
What?
I may have to check
You
that
need
out.
to go.
Monsterpalooza was my first time going. Now you transformed into this pretty princess.
Pretty princess. Yes.
Which, how long did that whole process take?
About an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Luckily, so for those who don't know, I was with Pat Mage Effects, and he does a lot of the effects for Halloween Horror Nights and stuff like that, and is on movies and other movies and Creature Works shops. So luckily, Joey and I, my boyfriend and I, we got to do a pairing together, which was actually supposed to be last year. We were supposed to do this last year, and then like schedules got crazy, and Pat wasn't going to do it anymore because his lineup was insane. This year, though, we got to do it, and luckily, the process could have took way longer if the mask I was wearing, the prosthetic I was wearing, wasn't already kind of color graded, if that makes sense. They were like pre-set it up, so they just kind of stick it on you, blend it a bit, and it's like ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Now, tell me the experience of wearing it, because it seemed like you were dying in there, of how hot it was.
Because it is... Most prosthetics are like latex based, right? So foam latex, so you can kind of have a little bit of breathe in it. This prosthetic, however, was not foam latex. It was, oh my God, I can't think of the word. Give me a minute.
All right.
Thinking of it. I just had it and I lost it now. Foam latex. This is
what
silicone.
you're thinking of? Oh,
This is what I was thinking of. It was made out of silicone
okay.
prosthetics,
Yeah.
which... If you don't know, silicone is like heavy rubber, and it does not breathe. There is no air that gets through that whatsoever. So once they put the cowl on me, which is a prosthetic in itself, glue this thing, which is over my entire head, over my ears, so now you're muffled like this. So I'm like, what? And it's on your neck, and it goes about here on the chest. And then they put the other prosthetic, which completely covers your entire face. All made out of silicone. Then you add, they got me a hump to go on my back. Then it's like this like pillow underneath my skibbies. And then I have this dress and a bunch of layers. Then you add a pretty wig on me, and then the hat. And then they got eye contacts in me, which Pat just popped him in. He just goes like this, here, and puts it in like that. Got crap all over my teeth, tongue, mouth effects. Get your mouth effects here. And so you're just covered. There was really no part of me left other than maybe some parts of whites of my eye. That was it. I was completely engulfed, and then I had silicone hands that were like gloves, and you put them on with water. That's how you get them in pretty quickly.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
The more you know. And it's just, and if you've ever been to Monsterpalooza or any kind of convention, it is hot in there because they like to do these things in the summertime. Thank you.
Yeah.
And where people are wearing costumes and masks and God knows what, sometimes against their will and sometimes willingly doing it because they want to show off what their costume they brought to the convention, like cosplayers. But yeah, it was bloody hot in there and I was sweating. And mind you, once you start moving in silicone, you'll start developing heat. And it'll start radiating out of you, and there's no escape, baby. That heat doesn't escape. Yeah. You're stuck like that all day. Oh, can't feel air. There is no relax. You know, when people take off the prosthetic or a mask, and they're like, whew, it's hot in there. Not with that. You are dying. And when they eventually were peeling it off of me at the end of the day, and the glue and stuff like that, the amount of water that came out of me was disgusting, and I didn't even know it was possible. I don't even drink that much water, and a lot of it came out of me, so I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Wow.
We are mostly made out of water, though, but I don't drink water, so I was very confused on where this water was coming from. I lost at least 15 pounds that day.
Wow.
Such a skinny princess.
Now, with that, you have Midsummer Scream coming up.
Yeah.
And then what other projects do you have coming up that you're working on?
Okay. Well, we got Comic-Con this coming weekend.
Never been, by the way. I was like,
month.
I may go. And I looked at tickets. I was like, no, I won't.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know they were, my goodness.
It's huge.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
a little bit ridiculous,
Yeah.
I will admit, but they're serious there. And I went for the first time last year because of Svengoolie, and we were at a panel and meet and greets and all that stuff. And it was a really cool experience, and we're doing it again this year. But I'm
Nice.
doing 2 panels. So I'm doing one for the Svengoolie crew, and we're actually showing up in costume this year. So it's like,
Nice.
now the people won't complain like how I would with Elvira. And I'm doing another panel on Friday about literally talking about kind of something like this with a bunch of other performers or artists of going from fan to career of something. So
Yeah.
2 different things. So it's going to be a heavy month, and so many podcasts. And I'm laying down groundwork this year for next year. So I've been on constant Zoom call after Zoom call for the past couple weeks of trying to establish next year of what I could do with the Pinup Palmer brand. There's only so much I could do with Gwengoolie because I don't own Gwengoolie.
So much you
know what I'm
can
saying?
do with that brand.
But Pinup Palmer is something I own that. So we're trying something for the first time and trying like 3 things, but I can't really say it now because I don't want to jinx it.
No, you're good.
And every time I do put it out in the universe, it never happens.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are asking if I'm going to do like a Halloween Christmas special again or something like that, or a Halloween special. I just don't have the time to do so
You
this
should
year.
do maybe, I mean, because I think your specials, I think, are like an hour long or something, but
Mm-hmm.
you should definitely do some kind of show,
Something.
like a Pinup Palmer show.
Yeah, that's what the talk is kind of
Oh,
about for
okay.
next year, where it's like that consistency thing, right? That
Oh,
evil
100%.
consistency thing comes around and
Absolutely.
going, okay, well, what can we do at the beginning of next year so that everything is you just line it up for
Yeah.
the end of October and everything's set up, and then the merchandise launches at the same exact time, and then you got this at the same exact
there's a
time.
lot,
So
yep.
it's all being set up now for next year's success. So this is kind of like the quiet year for me a little bit, where it's all behind the scenes stuff, which a lot of people are interested. So in the meantime, I'm just kind of doing my YouTube videos, doing the Svengoolie, telling me whatever they want me to do, being part of that, going to go into that next year. But yeah, to do those Christmas specials there's just no way with the schedule that I got going on this year.
For people who want to get into performing or even pin up, like kind of the style you're doing, what would you recommend they do or start or?
Well, online.
Yeah.
Like you have literally a magic mirror that sends you out into the void of people, you know? And I always say you have to be a little bit delusional
Yeah.
to believe in yourself, because like I said about my actor friends, I don't like waiting for somebody to choose me. You kind of have to choose yourself first and then put yourself out there. You are the bait. Cast yourself out into the world of fishing and hope that somebody bites.
Yeah.
And you only could do that if you try and you put yourself out on a platform of some sort and you are consistent about it. Consistency, I'm telling people, it's like the one thing. It could be the worst thing ever, but as long as you're consistent about it, you'll be known as that thing. Like one time I did a uranium glass hunting haul. Now I'm the uranium girl. Do you know how much uranium glass I get sent to my house, or when I meet people at like cons, they're giving me uranium because of that one video I did. Now I'm uranium girl. Well, be careful what you put out in the world, because you're going to become whatever that is.
Bye-bye, King Kong girl.
Become uranium girl. And so this is just, I just always tell people, you got to bet on yourself first and immerse yourself in the world that you want to create, or create it for yourself like I do. Julie Brown did it. Pee Wee did it. He created the world and environment. So you are at the hands of your beck and call of your imagination. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Be delusional.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say has been the most fun about building this pinup world? Pinup, pink and spooky.
Creating magic if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's something about bad magic that interests me the most. So, like a bat on strings. Makes me laugh every time. Don't care. I love it. But it is magic, right? Because it's like a practical effect that's happening. And the audience knows that it's stupid. You know that it's stupid, but you're treating it as if it is just the most amazing thing, like some high-end 3D Max movie. It's finding ways to do that. So, and over time you get kind of better. So then you kind of get into like, well, okay, you have puppets, but now you're like Henson level puppeteers. Or could you get to that? What can you do with puppets? What can you do with these things? Can you have an item talk all of a sudden? People aren't expecting that. So my imagination goes crazy in that moment of like, what can I do that people are not expecting, but are also kind of expecting out of me? I get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of magical moments, which magical, like if this plant started talking, I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. And it'd just continue, you know, like it's stuff like that.
Noted. I'll add that. Plant that
he says things every time, especially when you're wrong, it'll like light up. And so I think, I don't know. I get really inspired by stuff like that. What can I do to awaken people's imagination and nostalgia that they are used to, especially coming from the 90s where we grew up with everything like that. So trying to bring it back.
I love that. And to kind of start wrapping it up, what is a closing message you have for your fans that stuck it through and watched all the way through about all this stuff? It was such a fun
conversation. First off, I'd like to apologize, formally apologize for having you guys watch this again, basically, as I drink this water. Hold on. I have to think about it. That's a really hard thing. Like, what do you want me to say to the... Thanks.
No, up to you. Totally up to you. I don't know. Be yourself.
Be yourself. Thank you, German. No, I always say, like just like I said before, you have to bet on yourself, believe in yourself, and just be a little bit delusional. It's like in the words of RuPaul, like, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? Kind of that. But if you don't believe in yourself, how the hell are you going to expect somebody else to believe in you? Yeah. Or buy anything that you're selling? Come on. Yeah. Be delusional.
That's the hook right there.
That's the thumbnail. I swear. Better be a good one.
Lastly, into that camera, where can everybody find you, especially people who are just discovering you for the first time?
They could find me on the interwebs. They could find me at Pinup Palmer on Instagram and Pinup Palmer at YouTube. Or if you guys are interested in, I don't know, Svengoolie merch or anything, go to Svengoolie.com and check out the store. There's a bunch of store. I'll eventually have my own merch. Eventually. I promise.
Flashback to...
You just replay that the entire time.
And that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for sticking it through it and listen to us. I had such a great time talking with Miss Pinup Palmer. If you like things like this, make sure you're subscribed. Leave a like, a comment. Really helps out the channel a lot. And I drop a new episode every single Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. Actors, performers, content creators are coming, all right? I will see you on the next episode. Peace!
Consistency.